And we are just about to start to play ball. And I'm not sure if we could hear it, but our play ball kid announcing it very well. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second game of Sheboygan A's play out here in this neutral site set of games for the, I believe this is the Wisconsin Conference? Wisconsin State League, sorry. I am Charlie Heim. I will be joined by Mike Martin on the call. And Sheboygan had a pretty solid win in their first game, which was played earlier today at 11 a.m., 8-1 over the Kenosha Kings. Right now, Sheboygan set up to play against the Addison Braves. We have Brad Reinflesch on the mound. Brad, one of the better pitchers on the team, currently with a 1.38 ERA, not giving up too much in terms of runs early on the season, and really historically not someone who gives up all too many runs. Of course, last year, one of the top three pitchers. We did mention this a little bit yesterday. Although actually, Reinflesch, kind of not quite in the, not necessarily in the top in terms of ERA, but just being a very dominant strikeout pitcher. 109 strikeouts last year, 24 already in 13 innings. A very impressive showing early on in the year for Reinflesch. To go over the lineup for the Addison Braves, Drew Seidel in set at shortstop, Kyle Campbell in center, Brian Donley as the DH, Miguel Cantu at first base, Caden Manis at catcher, Alex Perez at third base, Peyton Berg in right field, Stephen Combs, I believe. Stephen Combs, sorry, in left field, and J.D. Swarbrick over at third base. As we are about to get underway, first pitch on its way, and that one in for a strike. Going over Sheboygan defensively, from right to left on the infield, Jacob Neese at first, Cooper Goss over at second, Kyle Flynn at shortstop, and Harry Stealth playing third. Meanwhile, for the outfield, from right to left, we have Brady Zackerson, Gus Walker, and Carson Hansen over in left. And on the third pitch, that one will be a 2-1 count now.
One thing about Brad is he does record a lot of strikeouts, like you said, but he usually throws a lot of pitches during the course of a game, and that's partly a result of walking a lot of guys. He led the team in walks and in strikeouts last season. We talked about that in an earlier broadcast. But that was a good at-bat, not too many pitches.
Very solid at-bat there, flying out to Zackerson out in right field, bringing up Kyle Campbell, the center fielder for Addison. Addison played earlier today. I don't quite remember how they performed in their first game. They did not perform today. Okay.
Scores from the games today, Sheboygan, of course, over Kenosha 8-1. West Allis beat Green Bay 6-5 in 8 innings. I believe that game was at the Field of Dreams. The Kenosha Kings beat Green Bay 7-2, and that was over at the Field of Dreams. And then Lombard defeated West Allis 6-5. We have this game, and then there's one more game after ours.
That will be the second game that Addison plays on tonight.
CJ, is it set up so everybody plays 3 games that is here? Okay, so some teams will. Okay, so it's not exactly even, but the idea is to give everybody a opportunity to shorten up some of their travel times and play at a central location, which is Sheboygan for the last few years.
Sheboygan, just a central location just in terms of at least the eastern coast of Wisconsin. Very central indeed. Maybe Manitowoc could be a little bit better, but right there, a big strikeout for Campbell. Brad getting early start on his strikeout number 25 on the year. Couldn't remember if I said 25 before or 24. We finally upgraded our technology over here at the press booth to include a ruler.
So when we track the line across, we can not all of a sudden morph into somebody else's line, which happened this morning.
First pitch, a ball in there. Right, I don't have the season leader says that one is nailed into the gap between short and first. Brian Donnelly, the DH, managing to get a hit there, bringing up Miguel Cantu, the first baseman. So Addison getting a early hit off of Ryan Flesch.
We got the standings for State League through the games that have been played here today. And West Allis and Kenosha are tied for first at 5-3. Green Bay is 4-4. Addison and Sheboygan are tied at 3-4. Lombard is 2-3, and Burlington 1 win and 2 losses.
As we discussed a little bit in our first game, Lombard usually a very dominant team, but so far off to a slow start. Meanwhile, Kenosha kind of almost the opposite a little bit, where usually they haven't been, the most intimidating team out there, but now starting off at the top of the league. Ryan Flesch keeping Donnelly over at first. And pitch a little bit outside.
Ryan Flesch coaches high school baseball over at West Bend, and his assistant coach is Harry Stout.
Ryan Flesch, the 27-year-old, a alumnus of UW Stout, 6'1", 220, a little bit, pretty big guy, I'd say. That one just inside the strike zone. Always confusing, you have inside, like, out of the strike zone to inside the strike.
That's why a lot of times I'll just say that's a strike.
Yeah, I confuse myself sometimes with that. But Ryan Flesch coming in for the 2-2 count. And taking off is Donnelly. And a good throw, but not quick enough for the stolen base. And a good recovery by Kyle Flynn playing over at short today.
Yeah, played second in our first game. He moves over to short this game.
A little bit of position.
Nice is at first, and Harry moved over to third, and Jurgensen goes to DH, so those three guys just rotating around.
Infield with a lot of rotation. Cooper Gossi. I believe it is Gossi, correct?
Gussie.
His first appearance of the day, playing over at second base. The other fielding player that Sheboygan has in today that wasn't in the first game is the Ketchup Caleb Lorbecki, who I am just now realizing I failed to mention in the defensive roundup. But at the end, he does participate in the final out, as it'll be another strikeout for Ryan Flesch. And after one, Sheboygan still leads over, or is still tied with Addison. No runs for the Braves.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
And coming into the bottom of the first, Sheboygan about to go to work against Adrian Rapier, the pitcher for Addison. To go through the lineup, we have Kyle Flynn, the shortstop, Brady Zackerson in right field, Harry Stelt at third, Carson Hansen, the left fielder, Jacob Neese playing first base, Jimmy Jurgensen at DH, Caleb Lorbecki catching, Gus Walker in center, and finally at the 9-hole, Cooper Gussie. I'll get that eventually.
That sounds good.
Gussie at second base.
Currently, Lombard is playing Burlington over at the Field of Dreams, so if you want to get out and watch some baseball over there, you could do that. We'd prefer you to come to the park. We offer more prizes over here.
We have a number of prizes for people who are at the stadium. And I believe they all have to buy, 50-50 have obviously the tickets, but we do have program numbers for our other sponsored rewards. As Rapier will miss that first one on the outside.
Flynn's bio sheet, he's got his favorite position as shortstop. So he's getting to play his favorite position this game.
He's had a lot of positional versatility. He's moved all around the infield so far. And really the person who's been moving around the most as a pitch on the lower end of the strike zone comes in.
Kyle didn't like that call. He thought it was low. Instead of having it 2-0, now it's 1-1.
Flynn had some very good defensive plays in the first game of the season as he swings through that one.
He was 2 for 4 in the first game with 3 RBIs. He had that big triple to drive in a run. Part of that 5-run second inning that doomed Kenosha.
That one chipped just foul. Now, coming into this, Flynn, a pretty solid hitter normally, but of course, a lot of slow starts on the bats for Sheboygan. Had a 211 coming into the Kenosha game.
Remember, we looked at that. I said he was up to 233.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to say anything because it wasn't high enough.
Yeah.
But he did have a good first game.
When you say up to 233, doesn't really give you the best hope as he strikes out on that one. We said Brady Zackerson. Zackerson, I believe, also had a pretty decent game in the first game of today. Of course, we've had
1 for 4, had that 2-run. Flynn had the RBI double. Zackerson had the 2 RBI triple. That's how that went.
That one on the outside. This 1-2 punch for Sheboygan doing quite well so far today. Of course, Harry always a threat, currently on deck, getting prepared for his at-bat.
This is an important game for Sheboygan in terms of the league standings. A win, of course, would put them above Addison, make them 4-4 in the league, drop Addison to 3-5. It's interesting. They played that doubleheader weekend last week. Played 4 times, 2 Saturday, Sunday. So this is a 5th time, in a week they're playing each other.
Sometimes that's just going to happen with baseball. We'll have a lot of times that you'll just play one team quite a bit, especially lower levels where you don't have as robust of scheduling. We don't have as far of travels. Just play one team a bunch, and so far. 5 and 7 days. Now still a 2-2 count. That one, I believe, they fouled off.
Those games in Addison over that weekend were quite competitive.
2-2. That one popped high into the air and will land on the picnic area, I believe. Just
the
outside.
First game at Addison, the A's lost 11-7. They started to come back, couldn't finish it off. But in the second game on Saturday, they won 5-2. They won the third game, which was on Sunday's first game, 2-0, 3-0, and then they lost the last game, Sunday second game, 7-5. So the games were relatively close.
But right there, that will be the third strike. Zackerson swinging through that one. 2 strikes early on for Rapier. And coming into last game, as Harry Stelt comes up to bat, coming into that last game, the A's on a 3-game losing streak, managing to snap that with the 8-1 victory. And now hoping that the offense can stay alive today as Harry Stelt, who was a little bit slow on his initial outing of the night.
Yeah, that first game was a bad one for Harry. He was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
3-2 strikes and a number of swings that he wanted to take back as he was swinging, I think.
Yeah, he had some not very good cuts at the pitches. He was a bit fooled in the first game.
And I just think overall being he's usually a very careful hitter. I think maybe a little bit frustrated with a slow start to the year, as that one will be wild.
Sheboygan will play tomorrow. We mentioned that during the first broadcast, but they do play tomorrow at 3 o'clock against Addison. And Jared Recklitis, the one of the aces of the staff, will be pitching that game. Definitely want to get out cheer for that. And there are games prior to that in this State League Challenge.
Harry watching that ball inside. Still very careful. Harry, he's recovering pretty well from an incredibly slow start on hitting, but of course still doing very well at drawing walks. Did draw a walk in his first game of today. The 2-1 pitch will be hit well, but a bit too high.
Yeah, it looks playable.
And it is playable indeed. The easy catch for Cantu over at first, and that will do it for the first inning. Score still tied 0-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
And we are coming into the top of the second inning. Still 0-0. Only one hit so far on the day for either team. That being a single for Addison. But now, Brad Reinflesch ready to start his second inning of work. It'll be Caden Manis, the catcher for Addison, coming up to the plate.
Brad is in his 5th year with Sheboygan. His favorite position is pitcher, and that's what he's playing tonight. But I've heard he does play at times with another team. I don't know what that team is, but he'll play all over the field with that team. Attended West Bend West High School, and I'm just going to assume that he's the coach at West Bend West, too, for baseball.
That one will be pitched outside. Of course, always good to have a pitcher who wants to pitch, so having that favorite position in there always a good thing. Reinflesch does a very good job at pitching. Hit just past Harry at third. Manis coming in with a lead-off single.
He didn't look fooled on that pitch.
Brings up Alex Perez, the third baseman. Of course, I always like saying this because I do think the catcher is one of the more interesting positions just in baseball in general. But when you can get a 3 to 5 hitting catcher, it's always a really good thing. And so Addison getting that pretty well with a single from their catcher. First pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Perez, a big guy, left-handed hitter. And with Neese holding the runner at first, it again opens up a hole between the second baseman and the first baseman on that right side.
And another strike. Reinflesch very good at locating his pitches just on the corners. Something that you always like to see, and that could be part of why he does have a high pitch count, why he does have a large strikeout count, and why he does have a large walk count, because he does throw a lot of pitches on the corners. Not much good to hit against Ryan Flesch. So that one will be inside a little bit.
Good eye by Perez. The interesting thing, or worrisome thing, is that in the first inning, Addison got their hit with 2 outs. In this inning, it's the leadoff man that's on base.
Pickoff unsuccessful on that one. Of course, talking about the walks that he has, while he does have a team leading, just barely, 24 strikeouts coming into the game, 17 walks as well with that.
There's the ball stroked in the left.
A little bit of an excuse we swing, pitch on the outside, just kind of slapped out there into left field. Doing some good left field hitting is Addison as Peyton Berg comes up. Brad Ryan Flesch, the league leader in strikeouts, just 1 ahead of course, now 3 ahead of Jared Reclitus, who we will be seeing tomorrow.
Those guys may be tagging back and forth throughout the year on that strikeout total. Who leads the team?
And the bunt laid down, and a very good positioning on that bunt gets Addison yet another hit. I think they were content with even just a sacrifice bunt on that one.
Well, that was the intent, I'm sure, just to move the runners over. But it was such a good bunt that Harry was not able to get there quick enough. Now the strikeouts could loom large.
Yep. Of course, that was one of those pitches that you don't really see, too much of a bunt on. You probably wouldn't want to swing at that normally. That one a little bit high in the zone. As Stephen Combs comes up, the left fielder. Apologies. Pitch right on the outside corner. Ryan Flesch still trying to keep this down, and of course, with someone who is as big of a strikeout threat as Ryan Flesch, you can really get out of these jams with a lot more ease, because you strike someone out, you can get a double play ball. And that finished off the inning. Someone who is, more focused on making them hit contact, as that one is fouled off.
Manis at third base has taken a pretty good lead on the pitch. Maybe Lorbecki can pick him off. I don't know if he'd want a chance to throw, but Manis looking maybe a little too comfortable over at third with his lead.
Of course, on that note of the attempted pickoff, something that Sheboygan has been struggling a little bit, did manage to really keep it in check last game, as that one is inside. But the fielding has been an issue early on in the year with Sheboygan. I believe it is 32 errors. 32
errors coming into the first game, so that's more than 2 errors a game. Sheboygan played a clean game in game 1, did not have an error. Hopefully they can do that again this ball game. And called strike 3, that was a big one.
That one just very tight. I think that was like high and inside, right on the corner. A very good pitch, and just getting ready right away. Ryan Flesch not going to wait on it. As JD Swarbrick comes in, the second baseman. Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting.
Me either. But I do appreciate you filling out the scorecard for me.
I take a lot of time with yours, and then
hey, and you've showed me this, and we know this. I know it too from doing it over the years. You get that scorecard from either dugout. It doesn't matter, and you look at it, and you're trying to figure out what is that name. Their handwriting isn't always the neatest. It's not like they print it out or type it out for you.
Just sometimes when it's nice that Bill oftentimes with the away teams has to go check their pronunciations for the PA. So sometimes you'll have more insight onto what a name actually is. You gotta compliment the other people in the press booth sometimes. As that one pitch, hey, we've done a lot of not complimenting before.
Swarbrick 1-2 on the count. He's down. Be another great opportunity for Brad to get a strikeout. Hopefully we can strand those 3 runners.
Rhineflesh settling in. It's at a very big lead over at third. That one on the outside.
The one thing when they loaded the bases, Charlie, they did it with the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Now you got the bottom 2 of the order. Hopefully, like we've been saying, Brad can polish these guys off and then get the number 1 hitter. Keep the score at 0.
Of course, just a testament to how good Rhineflesh is at pitching, as that one is a little bit high. Well, fairly high, I would say.
Now he's got to come in there.
3-2 count on Swarbrick. Really a make or break pitch on this one. Would be very nice for Sheboygan to keep runs off the board. 3-2 pitch is hit down the right field line, and they will let it drop.
It's just
Pretty
foul.
smart.
That was pretty close to the line.
Foul.
That would have scored 2 easily.
Foul ball, and I think, Zackerson could have possibly had a play on it, but I think smarter to just let it go on that one. Don't risk the sac fly opportunity.
Well, that wasn't the case. The case was it going to drop fair or foul. He was not going to catch that ball, and luckily it dropped foul for us.
I'll just assume that you have a better angle than I do.
Well, you could just see it. It was a matter of if it was fair or foul. It wasn't a catch or a no catch, in my opinion. He wasn't going to get there.
Another one chipped foul for Swarbrick.
What Swarbrick is doing is forcing Brad to keep throwing strikes.
Doing a very good job at this at-bat. A lot of times 9-hitter going to be one of your weaker hitters, but right now working, I believe this is up to a 9-pitch at-bat, somewhere around that range.
5, 6, 7. This is going to be pitch number 8, I believe.
This matters how many fouls have been thrown, as that one will be walked. Swarbrick drawing a walk on a very solid at-bat. And that will bring up the top of the order with Drew Seidel.
Shortstop, number 6, Drew.
Or Seidel, sorry. Again, sometimes I can't read my own writing, but Rhineflesh getting a fresh count now, but still wanting to get those outs. One away in the inning, as that one is hit deep into right field. Zackerson going to catch it, throw to home, will get past the cutoff, and another run will score on the sacrifice.
Seidel hit a fly ball to right his first time up, and he did it here. The difference, of course, was it was deep enough to get the run home from third. And now the A's are down 2-0 instead of 1. We were hoping to get no runs if you could have got that number 9 hitter.
This a solid performance on the bats from Addison, but Rhineflesh still not someone that you can, leave lightly. Someone who can pitch a lot of innings and do a lot of good work on this, even if, give up a run or 2 per game, as that one swung through right away from Kyle Campbell.
Campbell was a strikeout victim his first time up.
3 strikeouts so far in the 5 outs that Rhineflesh has had. Hoping to bring it up to number 6, as that one is hit foul down the left field line.
We mentioned in the first game early on that all the games in this State League Challenge are 7-inning games, which means you have 2 less innings to work with, so you don't want to get too far behind in a 7-inning game.
Of course, that 7-inning really, it helped Sheboygan out in game 1, as that one fouled back. The 8-run lead coming after the 3rd, and then no runs scoring after that. Kenosha not able to recover. And, obviously Addison wanting to hope to do the same thing to Sheboygan. Sheboygan hoping to prevent that. It's Rhineflesh settling in for the 0-2 count. And swinging through that one.
Yeah, that was a bad pitch to swing at, but we'll take it.
Bad pitch to swing at, but works nonetheless, as Addison managing to score 2 runs in the inning, and that will bring it to a 2-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 2nd.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan. What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family-owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
And coming into the bottom of the second inning, Addison managing to put up 2 runs on Brad Rindfleisch, and Sheboygan looking to answer back. And very good to have Carson Hansen come in. Carson Hansen, the left fielder, one of the commits to UW Milwaukee, and someone that the coach of UW Milwaukee said is possibly one of the best hitting prospects that he has seen come to UWM. He'll take a low strike.
Carson was 1 for 3 with the walk, hit that long home run down the right field line. So he's got the power.
A very strong hit, a very good eye, and that one he will hold up on.
Also had good instincts out in the outfield. Caught some, made some tough catches in the first game.
A very solid fielder out there. Left field, you don't necessarily need a dominant fielder out and left, as that one will be taken for a low ball. But no, it's not like he's a bad fielder so far from what we've seen. Just very good even. So it is really just a hope that Sheboygan can keep him for their team throughout the season. We did discuss a little bit last game as the 2-1 pitch comes in. We did discuss a little bit last game about how potentially if he does well, he gets called up to higher leagues.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, we're hoping
we want
that.
the best for the kid, but
Yep.
you like to see him around here.
That one will be a inside pitch. 3-2 count now on Hansen.
What we're seeing again this at bat, Carson is very selective and not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
Very selective hitter. Both of those looking strikes being inside, but that one hitting the outside corner, and Hansen thinking that was a ball, instead gets rung up on the outside corner pitch to bring up Jacob Neese.
Jacob was 0 for 2 with the walk.
Neese, a very reliable hitter for Sheboygan, 271 average as he looks at a strike. Even then, I just have a weird angle on this.
You gotta go way out here.
271 hitter, 390 on base, 384 on slugging, as that one fouled out of play.
One thing that we've noticed with Jacob and his hitting, he doesn't always have a real good. He's got a better batting average this year, but one thing he does provide the club with is power, extra base hits, and
he'll swing through that one for a strikeout. Rapier doing
it's like
very
we're
well.
The kiss of death up here, Charlie. We keep seeing all these nice things about the hitters, and they're striking out.
But it seems a little bit rude to start smack talking to hitters. I don't know if that would have the opposite effect, but that will bring up Jimmy Jurgensen, the DH on the day.
Jimmy scored a couple runs in the first game.
Rapier
also had a hit.
Very well so far in this game. Jurgensen will take that first pitch on the outside for a ball. Right now we're seeing a lefty-lefty matchup. Did see that in the opening of the first game of Sheboygan's today. And something that we'll probably see quite a bit because Sheboygan has a lot of lefties on the roster. Let's take another one low and a little bit outside. Jurgensen, just another one of those lefties. Hansen, a lefty. Harry Stout, just a very powerful righty. So getting that reverse-handedness matchup. Now Jurgensen settling in the 2-0 pitch. That one high.
Waiting on deck is Caleb Lorbecki.
Really something that, possibly that Tim Moyer is hoping for is even just one base runner could, shake the confidence of the pitcher a little bit, as that one would just be a pitch right down the middle. 3-0 count, not told to swing. Sometimes a smart decision, sometimes maybe a little bit questionable, but that one, I think early game, you're fine with that. Now 3-1, and Jamie will draw the walk to bring up the catcher, Caleb Lorbecki. Lorbecki absent from the first game. Catching was Justin Schnell. Lorbecki is also at UW Milwaukee out of Heartland,
Becky's
Wisconsin.
hitting 333, Charlie, but got to preface that he only had 3 at-bats. And like you said, he didn't play in the first game, so.
Becky still a little bit, not fully on the main rotation of catchers, as he'll watch a strike in there.
He may have been concluding his college season, and that's why he's late arriving to play with us.
We have seen a decent bit of Justin Schnell. Justin Anzia, also someone that we've seen a decent bit this year, as he'll take a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. I've seen a little bit of Ian Mary, but Lorbecki tied for the oldest in terms of just year age. I don't know what they are for months. I don't know.
Lorbecki last season hit 217. And he gets hit there. Well, we got a rally now.
And that one, a hit by pitch that you're willing to take. That one didn't look like it would have hurt too much, but that's the thing with the hit by pitches, is that a lot of times it's just you need to work through on whether you need to fully get out of the way, or maybe you can take a base with that. As that brings up Gus Walker.
Yeah, let's see if Gus can unload on one.
Walker,
get a clutch hit.
A slow start to his year, hoping to break out of that slump, switch to his last year walk-up theme. It's going for a little bit
that third baseman way back and off the line. If he could have laid that one down along the line, he would have had a sure base hit.
Of course, someone like Gus Walker with a lot of speed, they're willing to put down those bunts. Of course, definitely trying to push it a little bit on there. But not phased is Addison. Missed the bunt. No bunt attempt on that one, as that one is just flied out of play.
That
down
puts
the left field on this time.
Gus down on the count, though. No balls and 2 strikes.
0-2, still no hits for Sheboygan, but have drawn a walk and a hit by pitch so far in this inning. So still getting these base runners, and of course back-to-back, also a big thing for Sheboygan. Again, just trying to maybe get a little bit under Rapier's, under his mindset. As now the 0-2 pitch comes in. And on the outside, of course, with an 0-2 pitch, you do a lot of experimentation with where you're going to throw it, as long as you don't go wild, of course. So trying
as
to go
a pitcher with a no ball 2-strike pitch, what you want to do is try to get one close enough, but not in the strike zone. Hopefully the batter will offer at it.
And this popped up.
Pitcher not able to do that on that 0-2 pitch. Walker doing a good job, not swinging at it.
And as we may have heard, that one bouncing off of our metal roof over our grandstands. Happens. The first one, very loud. Since then, I don't know if I've just gone, started to tune out how loud it is, or if it's just that first one was exceptionally loud.
There's a line drive out to the outfield.
Gus
get down.
Lining one deep, but not quite lined right to Campbell. But a very solid hit, and still 2 base runners, but still 2 left aboard for Sheboygan, as Addison still leads it 2-0.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me smells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
And coming into the top of the third, Addison leading 2-0 over Sheboygan. As we have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Brian Donley, Miguel Cantu, and Caden Manis coming up for Addison. Of course, a little bit longer of a inning because of Caleb Lorbecky being on base. 2 base runners for Sheboygan in the last inning off of a walk and a hit by pitch. Jurgensen with the walk, Lorbecky getting nicked, I believe, like on the ankle, around the foot area on the hit by pitch. Now Harry talking with Ryan Flesch, 2 people who are very well acquainted, as we mentioned earlier on in this broadcast. Both coaches over in West Bend. As Donley will come up. So far, this seems to be a battle of strikeout pitchers. Both of them with 4 apiece on the game, as that one popped up right away.
This could be a banger. It was.
It was.
Right on the metal roof again.
I think on that one, Lorbecky knew that was up. Kind of, just looking at the facial expression, he was anticipating it a little bit.
Donley singled and stole a base in the first inning and then was stranded on second when Cantu struck out to end the inning.
That is something that you'll see with Ryan Flesch, is that one fouled off. Is that, with him being a strikeout pitcher, you will see a number of runners left on base. So, really just hoping to keep that streak going. That one, a little bit of a breaking ball on, I believe that one called inside for a ball. 1-2 count now on Donley. His DH, not often you see stealing, but did manage to get one there.
That looked like a good pitch.
Very good one on the corner. Donley maybe thinking it was a bit too outside, but rung up by the home plate umpire. That will be the first out of the inning, bringing up Miguel Cantu. Cantu, as Marty just mentioned, struck out in his first appearance. Struck out swing on that one, as you'll see a first strike coming in. And strike 2 on there. Ryan Flesch, a very quick pitcher, manages to get between pitches very quickly and throws a lot of pitches. That one swung through, 3-pitch strikeout. Very efficient for Ryan Flesch. Really, probably
you don't see that very often where he gets 3 pitches in a row like that. Usually pitchers don't like to do that either, like
the
we were talking about
strikeout
earlier, where they try to get one just off the corner, maybe have the batter offer at it and get a strikeout that way, but he wasn't wasting any time. I like it.
Of course, the 3-pitch strikeout, not something you'll see from Ryan Flesch too often as he throws the ball there, but the quick one, just with how quickly he goes through each pitch, not something that I don't think it would be too uncommon. Of course, that's something I'll learn as I continue on. I am still an intern, after all.
When you got that 3-pitch strikeout on the previous batter, now he's 2-0 on the next.
Make that 3-0 as that one outside. Ryan Flesch really kind of, from what I'm seeing, both from stats and in game, very much almost like a boomer bust player, as that one will be taken for a strike.
Ryan Flesch, a boom player.
Well,
he's inconsistent with the strike zone a little bit, but he can bounce back from that. But he's an excellent player.
That one chipped foul. No attempt to grab that one. Just with that inconsistency in the strike zone, sometimes can have relatively rough innings. That first one, of course, getting a loaded bases situation with no outs, but managing to get out of it with only 2 given up. As a swing through that one, striking out the side is Rindfleisch as we head into the bottom of the third. Sheboygan hoping to recover.
At Northwoods, we are a family. And like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
And coming into the bottom of the third, Sheboygan hoping to come back and score a few runs, starting with I'll eventually get it right.
Cooper Gussie.
Gussie. It'll be drilled in my head eventually, I'm sure. But
no relation to, I don't think, the Gussies that run the Gussies Northwestern House, which is a restaurant on the south side. But Cooper had quite a few at-bats last year, had 84, had 4 doubles. Batting average was a little wanting. He only hit .214. Hopefully that'll change this year.
First pitch swinging through that one.
Didn't get cheated on that pitch. Alrighty.
He has that one pitched on the outside. Very vocal crowd for Gussie. Probably, I would assume some relation to him is currently inhabiting the Budweiser party deck.
Cooper's a Plymouth grad.
Takes a strike.
Played baseball for Butch Kane out there at Plymouth High School. And currently attends UW Whitewater.
Whitewater. Long way out as the 1-2 pitch comes in. And watched on the outside. 2-2 count now for the second baseman.
No wind whatsoever. Flag is just hanging on the flagpole limp. And he got a piece of that ball, but the catcher was able to hang on to it, so it's a strikeout.
And so far, still, Adrian Rapier being very efficient with his strikeouts. Strikeout number 5 for Rapier. Meanwhile, Brad Rindfleisch with 7 on the day so far through 3 innings. 2 very good strikeout pitchers, it seems, as the first pitch will be outside for Kyle Flynn, one of those 5 strikeout victims in his first time around. And hoping to continue to do well as that one fouled straight back. Well, not straight back, but close enough to it to count.
Hey, Bill, how do you say the pitcher's name? Rapier. He's Adrian Rapier's pitching a good game. He's a little left-hander.
Swung through that one, chipped away. Had that been strike 3, would have had the opportunity to potentially get on first, but of course still haven't really seen Manis's arm. Don't know how strong he is on that one. Of course, you still don't want to strike out even if you reach base.
Any way to get on.
1-2 will be chipped over to third.
Ooh,
And
good scoop by the first baseman. Boy, that was a low throw. Perez not too happy with himself, but got bailed out by the first baseman, Cantu.
And of course, that play kind of a small emotional roller coaster for Sheboyganese.
Yeah.
You see the low throw, see, okay, maybe you can get on base
well,
on the air.
not just that, Charlie, but, if, let's say it's a low throw and it gets by the first baseman, all of a sudden we got a runner on second.
Especially with someone with
only one
Flynn's
out.
speed. Flynn, a speedy infielder. Not something you will always see as Zackerson comes in when we'll take the first one for a ball.
But you know what's even better? A 2-out rally.
2-out rallies always just have
that's
that
pretty
extra,
disheartening if you're the pitcher.
the extra taste. I don't know if that's exactly the right word, but they're trying to use a little bit more colorful language, but not that form of colorful language. I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
Oh,
I imagine CJ would get angry.
We don't want to
at me
get
if
into
I-
that.
if I did
CJ
that.
doesn't like it when we do that.
Yeah. Using
Use
the wrong kind of
colorful language on the air.
Don't think we're
And we're not talking red, blue, orange, green.
Well, CJ says he doesn't care. I am not going to test that, though. I'm an intern. I'm very
You're not going to
easily-
test it until all of a sudden he starts caring.
That one chipped down, grabbed by the shortstop, and that one in time for out number 3. A very close play on that one, but ends up being another 1-2-3 inning for Rapier, and that will bring us to the top of the 4th.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations.
And coming back to our game, Addison still leading 2-0 over Sheboygan during our between inning games over here at the park. Had a little bit of trivia, and Mike has a little bit more trivia for us as well, but more baseball related trivia.
If I could remember the options, I'd give them that question that we used in the park for over the air. But
the question on that one was which
we know the answer.
Yeah, it was which. I think it was which famous celebrity was a Girl Scout.
Ariana Grande was one.
Ariana Grande,
Swift was
Taylor
one,
Swift, and Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson. Who was it?
It was Taylor Swift, as that one popped quickly into right field. Completely missed the at-bat of Perez.
Here's one for the press box crew and you fans out in internet land. A's trivia. What two players led the club in games played in 2022? What two players led the club in games played in 2022? Huh?
We have a guess of that one foul.
Bill guessed Harry Stelt and
Gus Walker.
Gus Walker. You got one of the two right. We're not going to tell you which one.
That's
just yet.
That'd be lame. CJ's still thinking through. He's very much a contemplative type.
Nice got hurt last year.
0-2 in high on that one.
Okay.
Yes, sir, Jergensen.
I'd ask you, Charlie, but
you
weren't here last year.
I also have
the two leading games played players with 61 games. You'll kick yourself for not thinking of this, boys, down at the row there. Ross Christ Yeah, and it was Gus Walker.
Stephen Combs comes in after the called strike 3.
What did that? Oh, it was a called strike 3 on the second guy.
I believe so.
So we got
That's
a
what I
fly
put
out to right and a called strike 3. And we got Combs up. Is that right?
Yep. Stephen
Okay,
Combs, the left fielder, currently up to bat for Addison as he swings through that one. Caught a little bit on the off-speed pitch.
Ross Christ got a real job and moved out of the area, so he's not able to play with us this year. He's one of those players that you really miss when they're not around.
So far, Ryan Flesch doing a very good job. Had a little bit of difficulty in that second inning, but since then has pitched very well as there is one inside.
To Charlie's point, Brad has retired the last 7 batters he's faced.
So I'm hoping for number 8 here as that one is lined foul. And of course, of those 7 retired, only 2 haven't been strikeouts.
This is correct.
So very, very strong showing from Ryan Flesch. But sometimes in baseball, just that one inning can hurt quite a bit. Swinging through that one brings it up to retired batter number 8 in a row. And that does it for the end of the top of the first. A bit of a confusing way to say it, but as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, score still remains 2-0.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Three and a half innings played. Harry Stout coming in to lead off the game. Currently have our dance contest going on. Still looking for a decision between who is winning. So Harry, a little bit of a surprise walk-up song of Cotton Eye Joe as he takes the ball.
That wasn't his walk-up song.
Well, it worked as a walk-up song for this at-bat.
If he gets a base hit, it'll have worked.
Maybe if he gets the base hit on this one, maybe consider doing that. I don't know.
Well, this is a great part of the order, Charlie, to try and get some runs. We have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters up, and Jimmy at number 6 is no slouch either. So this would be a great chance to get some runs.
Ball fouled out onto New Jersey Avenue. I think it was about a second or two away from hitting a moving car as Harry lines one. Nice crack of the bat as he lines that one into center field. Gets another single on his belt. Harry, a very, very strong hitter as Carson Hansen comes up. And in our first game, we saw what kind of power Hansen has, and that very power is something that can get him up to a tied ball game. First hit on the day for Sheboygan, but that one grounded to third. Covered 5, 4, and 3.
Oh, my.
Unfortunate first pitch double play. Gets that advantage that Sheboygan had out right away. Bringing up Jacob Neese.
Such a promising start with Harry's line drive base hit, and then Hansen hitting the ball hard too, but right to the fielder.
And that one, another quick at bat, grabbed by short, and that'll be an easy ground ball out. A very, very quick inning for Addison, and that will end it for the 4th inning. Sheboygan still trailing 0-2, hoping to not allow any more runs.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
And coming into the top of the 5th inning, Brad Reinflesch still pitching a very strong game despite the 2-run 2nd inning. So far, with at least 2 strikeouts in every single inning, having 3 in his 3rd inning of work.
I'll tell you, Dylan Davis did a great job on the rapid-fire questions. And there's another reason to come to the ballpark. A lot going on between innings. We have to show the commercials to make some money, but you get here during between innings, you get entertained.
Yeah, entertainment. Of course, last game we had the dice roll for sponsorship. We had the inflatable race, as that one is popped up. Gus Walker ranging over and will easily catch that one for the first out on Swarbrick, which will bring up Drew Seidel. Seidel so far has an RBI on his sacrifice fly. Also flew out to right field again in the, well, reverse order, but still as he takes a strike on that one.
Brady better be ready for this batter. He's hit the ball twice out to him.
One threatening to bunt. Don't think the bunt would exactly be going to Zackerson. That one will be taken as a called strike. 0-2 count. Pitch high, and that will be taken for ball 1. As you're talking about some of the on-field entertainment, again, the rapid-fire questions, always a highlight. Get some real interesting answers. That one is grounded, fielded by Gussie, and not in time. Maybe take a little bit too long on the transfer from glove to ball, or glove to hand. Seidel will come in with a single.
You know, another one of those between inning game or contests that they have is the build a ball player.
Build a ball player, always also fun.
If you don't know what it is, we're not telling you. You got to come to the ballpark to find out.
How's it? I thank you for cutting me off. I was about to spoil some of it. You got to keep some secrets. That one right away, I think Campbell knew that that he should have swung at that. That one right down the middle for a strike. Campbell 2 strikeouts so far in the day, and that one a close pickoff move. Not often that you'll see a right-hander get a very strong pickoff move there, but Seidel, looking to take his second jump, I think. Got him right in time. It's now Reinflesch. Again, spinning over, but no dice there.
Just to keep our fans informed, we are not playing the major league rules where they only can do 2 throws over to first and then it's a balk. And no pitch count or clock, I mean.
No pitch clock, no.
You don't have to get in the batter's box in a certain time frame, although the batters and the players, for the most part, are very well schooled and play the game the way it should be played.
That one will be fouled off. 0-2 count now. Brad, of course, not really someone who has to worry too much about the pitch clock. He's a very speedy pitcher. Of course, that pickoff there. Of course, if we were playing the Major League rules, Seidel would be over at second, thanks to that third pickoff being unsuccessful. As well as the fourth one. And that one, pickoff will be missed. And he's rounding second, but no throw over to third. As he completely manages to get by on the E1.
You can see why Seidel was taking the big lead. He's got great speed, and once he got going, you weren't going to stop him at second base.
That pitch, I think, just a little bit, or the throw a little bit low over to Nice. Not able to pick it out. So rolling to the side, and now runner on third for Ryan Flesch.
Good play by Jacob there.
Honestly, a little bit too quick for me to catch that, but just a very solid play. It was a quick grounder over to Nice. Stops it. He looks the runner back over to third for stepping on the bag.
Donnelly, we mentioned he got the base hit and the stolen base in the first, but then he was called out in the third. Can't let Addison get any more runs, Charlie.
That is something that Ryan Flesch is good at. He's good at, preventing those productive outs. Of course, strikeout here would be just that, but really any out would be productive at this point. Not going to keep up a streak of 2 strikeouts per inning.
He's got 9 in the ball game. Be nice to get number 10 right here. The way the A's have been offensively this game, they cannot afford to get down 3-0. 2 runs is plenty to try and come back from.
That one, I think, maybe a little bit of a breaking ball. Didn't break quite as much as Ryan Flesch wanted. Now, I don't know how they are in the clubhouse, but if I were Ryan Flesch and Rick Lightus, I'd almost be starting to compete for who can have the most strikeouts.
Well, I'm sure there were just some discussions about that last year when it got towards the end of the season.
Ryan Flesch ending up with 10, hold up, quick math, 16 more than Rick Lightus. Of course, came into this game with 1 more than
some
Rick
of
Lightus.
that is a product of when you can be, or can you be, at the games. And I'm not sure how many starts Brad had versus Jared, or how many innings pitched that you have on your sheet.
So the innings are about the same. Rick Lightus 59 2/3, Ryan Flesch 60, but over 13 games for Ryan Flesch as opposed to 10 for Rick Lightus.
Yeah, and I think Rick Lightus's were all starts. I'm not sure if Brad's were all starts.
Yep. 13 starts for Ryan Flesch, 2 reliefs, and 2 saves, which I'm sure he'll want to hype up a little bit.
And you don't want to put strikeouts are important, of course, at certain times during the course of a game, but you don't want to put too much importance on them. And you mentioned it before, Charlie. As you strike out more guys, you're piling up a lot more pitches. If you can get a guy to ground out after 1 or 2 pitches, a pop up in the short center, but making the catch was Flynn, and that's the end of the inning for Addison. Hopefully we can get some runs in the bottom of the 5th.
Swingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious.
Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand. And
Coming into the bottom of the 5th inning, Sheboygan has been quiet offensively in this game. No runs, only 1 hit so far, that being a Harry Stelt single to center in the last inning, but no advantage to be had from that one as the double play ended that one. But now, really hoping to recover from this is Sheboygan. Jimmy Jurgensen, a good man to start off in a potential rally.
I was looking at Jimmy's bio sheet, and his favorite food is brisket. And last Sunday, my wife and I went to visit our son, and he made brisket, and it was awesome.
Sounds like you should have invited Jimmy to that one.
Wow.
CJ and Bill wanted to be invited as well.
We didn't have enough room in the car.
Hey,
base hit for Jimmy.
Looped into left field. Jurgensen will get on with the single. And that one will be a strong showing for Sheboygan. But, of course, well, I don't want to
Kilblor Becky is up next. He reached the hard way, being hit by a pitch.
Hit by pitch, but not a particularly intense hit by pitch. I believe just sort of nipped off of his ankle. Last game, which was not streamed.
It was a glancing blow.
Glancing blow, yep. Last game between Kenosha and Green Bay, I believe it was. We did see a hit by pitch that was, I think it was like right in the thigh. Looked very painful, and the batter was not happy with that one.
Bill was around last year when we did the Legion State tournament. That was a hit fest. There were so many guys getting hit by pitch. It was unbelievable.
That one skied out into left field, and that'll be an easy play for Combs. We'll retire Lorbecky to bring up Gus Walker. Gus a bit slow to start off this year, but last year, a very, very strong hitter for Sheboygan. Just about did lead the team in average with a .394. Started off low in the order on the year, then moved up to first, as he'll watch a strike in there. And Tim Moyer, I think, maybe seeing if the opposite could be true with the struggles. Maybe he just has to start the year low on in the order, sort of work his way back up. Walker hit 9th in last game.
Yeah, Walker last year, Charlie, had 16 doubles, 5 triples, and he did hit a home run. So one can always hope.
Of course, someone with Walker's skill set, that really high speed, you'll get a lot of those extra base hit. I don't even know what word I was trying to say there. Get a lot of those extra base hits.
Get it between the outfielders. Yep. Get it to the wall. Gives you a great chance to run.
And of course, really, not exactly the deepest field out here at Wildwood Park. 395 in center, 320 out on the corners. But that's still enough for someone with Walker's speed to get a double or triple. That one on the outside corner for a strike 2. Gus flew out in his first at-bat, hoping to get on base. And he will watch that one.
Oh, that looked pretty good. I think the catcher wanted it called a strike, but the umpire didn't see it that way. And now the count is 3-2.
Could be something with our angle, but maybe outside or low. Because that to me, I thought that was right down the middle, to be honest. I thought that was an easy one, but that one going to be chopped over to short. And no double play ball on that one. Gus Walker's speed able to prevent the inning from ending as Cooper Gussie coming in.
One thing you got to say about this Addison infield is they are pretty slick. The shortstop, Seidel, really does a nice job at short, and his partner at second, Sorbrook, is also very good.
Of course, the Cooper Gussie party bus, I guess, getting in full action over on our Budweiser party deck. That one will be a unsuccessful pickoff throw. Of course, we do have, I believe we still have stuff open for if you want to reserve the Budweiser party deck. I'm going to say the full name every time, but Don't exactly know how you do that. That one is fouled out of play. Don't believe fully out of the ballpark, though. Gussie struck out in his first appearance. Of course, we've seen a lot of strikeouts from both pitchers, but slowing down a little bit is Rapier on his strikeout plays. That one swinging right through it.
Yeah, Gussie was a little bit behind on that fastball.
Because maybe thinking that it would be a throw over to first. Rapier not really looking towards the plate until he was just about to throw it. That one hit well, but out of play. That one a very strong hit, but a little bit early on that. It seemed like a little bit of a slow swing, but still managed to have a lot of power behind that. Gussie hoping to work well in this 2-out situation.
Walker with a nice lead at first. I don't think he'll be going, though. Well, there he goes.
Well, as soon as you say it.
Walker. I wanted him to run, so I said I don't think he's going to run.
I still got to learn that part of the commentary. We'll do the exact opposite of what you say. Of course, Walker, a little bit more hesitant, I think, to run on a lefty than a righty. Lefties, a lot of times, will have those good pickoff moves. Now I think Rapier going to be looking even closer to first, and that one.
Yeah, I couldn't check his swing. Went too far around. That's a strikeout. And that's strikeout number 6.
That one, with that strikeout, that'll bring us towards the top of the 6th. Time running out in this 7-inning game for Sheboygan to make a comeback. But, of course, first they got to get through the top of the 6th inning.
Spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family.
Coming into the top of the 6th inning, we do have a defensive change for Sheboygan. Bennett Becker coming in to play second, placing Cooper Gussie, which I'm sure our party people out here are not going to be too enthused with, I'm sure. Definitely seem like the type to be really looking forward to Gussie's performances. But Ryan Flesch will be one pitch, and that one skied out to left over the head of Hansen, and rumbling on over to second with the easy double will be Miguel Cantu, the first baseman.
Yeah, Cantu was a strikeout victim his first 2 times up. Caught us by surprise with that first pitch double.
Not wanting to get too far into account with Ryan Flesch, I think, at this point, so first pitch swing, just nailing it deep. One a little bit too high for Hansen to get. It's now bunt down the first base line. Ryan Flesch will scoop and underhand toss over to Nice. At first, that'll be a sacrifice bunt.
I think that's a good strategy to get that runner over to third now with only 1 out. A third run by Addison would really be devastating for Sheboygan.
Of course, Sheboygan has been very quiet on offense today. 2 hits, two other base runners off of a walk and a hit by pitch.
And Tim Moyer knows that, too. He's got his infield playing up. Hopefully to cut off the run. There's a little pop-up that could drop.
No, Becker, the defensive change working out already. The little popper looked like it could have been dangerous because of the infield being in, but instead...
CJ and Bill on the other end of the table are like, oh, no.
Yep. That was just
Becker makes the nice over-the-shoulder catch.
That was just about, like... Yeah, little...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, little bit... That's...
Can we say that on the air, CJ? Duck fart.
Well, we've said it already, so...
Okay, if we can't say it, then I won't say it anymore. Duck fart.
And swinging through that one for the 0-2 count, Peyton Berg, right fielder, coming up, had the bunt single in the second inning. So Addison very much willing to use the small ball strategy, since that one will be outside. Of course, that last one, a bit of a danger with the infield being in is that you might have some of those blue pits that would just be your most routine plays possible.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were looking at,
yep.
but Bennett able to get back and make that catch.
And swinging through that one, Rindfleisch able to get out of that first pitch jam. Really was a first pitch jam on that one, to get out of the inning unharmed, and Sheboygan looking to recover and start scoring some runs of their own.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
And coming into the bottom of the sixth, Sheboygan, not much time left for them to start getting some runs or even some almost any offense in general. But a good way to start off with that is the top of the order, Kyle Flynn.
Hey, Charlie, let's talk about the 7 innings versus the 9 innings. I had mentioned earlier that this is a good part of the order to score runs when we had our 3, 4, and 5 hitters up. Here's another opportunity for Sheboygan with a key part of their order, 1, 2, 3, to try and get some runs. In this game, in all likelihood, we will not see him bat again. We will not see the top of the order. In a 9-inning game, we would. So that's what I mean about getting behind, and you don't get your best hitters up as frequently in a 7-inning game. So we got to get it done right now.
Of course, this top of the order really just the first half of the first 6 incredibly strong hitters out there, as that'll be a 2-1 count. Flynn really trying to work through this. Struck out and grounded out in his 2 appearances so far on the day, looking to get I don't know if he has a hit streak going, but we'll just say that he has one.
And that was a big pitch by Rapier, too. Instead of going 3-0 now, he's 2-1.
Swinging through that one is Flynn. Flynn, the versatile utility infielder, hoping to do well on hitting. That one will be low. Now, Flynn, while he hasn't really been hitting the ball all too well, still around a 200 average, he's been doing well.
We had him at 233 in that after that second game, but
that one
going 0 for 2, and he did not get a hit in his last at bat. So it's down below probably
211.
In the 210s, I would think, because he
of
doesn't
course
have a lot of at bats to work with.
still doing relatively well at getting on base nonetheless.
Line
As
drive.
he'll-
Oh,
That one lined out towards the bullpen area for Sheboygan. The 266 OBP.
Kenny Nazy
Getting-
coaching over at third, and Davis Wilson over at first coaching.
Davis Wilson, a player favorite player
they have
out on
not,
this team.
they've not been busy enough.
That one fouled off.
And now it's Flynn's time to make Rapier work a little bit harder. Keep throwing strikes. Hopefully Flynn can get on base. Get a rally going for Sheboygan.
Really still has been a pitching duel as Rapier setting up for the full count. And that one skipping foul. Flynn going to hustle a little bit and will not advance past first on the walk.
Brady's up. He's 0 for 2.
Zackerson, just like Flynn, had a very strong game in Game 1, but is also the victim of a strikeout and a ground out so far in this game. But now with a runner on base, Zackerson hoping to drive in a run. Going in for a bunt, will miss, and that one close to being picked off, but nothing going there.
Well,
Flynn,
It's not afraid to throw the ball around the park a little bit.
That
with
one,
a 2-run lead, probably not a bad decision either.
Of course, Flynn, I think, maybe took off a little bit on the bunt attempt. Well, so a little bit closer of a play to the bag, as that one pickoff attempt will be unsuccessful.
Surprised to see Brady trying to bunt his first at bat. I wasn't looking at Perez, the third baseman, so I don't know where he was positioned. But if he was way back, it would have been a good decision to bunt to get on.
So I think at this point, almost, maybe just trying to get someone in scoring position, because you do have Harry, you do have Hansen, who has, while only having the one hit so far. Sorry, yeah, 2 hits. Nope, never mind. I was reading Harry.
Well, the point is they have the power.
Yeah.
You never know.
Zackerson.
That ball is hit hard and foul. Oh, my.
Just barely foul.
Bounced in the corner, but it bounced on the wrong side of the white line.
Addison, I think, very, very happy to have that one. That one just maybe a matter of feet, maybe even inches foul. Something I don't really know if we could see on our cameras.
Brady
limited view.
3 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run this season. He's hit for good powers.
And that one, again, a little bit more obvious that it was a foul. That one sails out of the ballpark. And really, these past 2 at-bats have made Rapier work. Something I'm sure Sheboygan is happy with. Rapier has been very strong so far in this game, but now, getting into the higher pitch counts, a little bit more tired, as that one is swung through Brady with a healthy cut, but will be unsuccessful in advancing the runner. But just barely had something that could have been.
It looked like he had Rapier measured, ready to hit, but Rapier delivered a good fastball and was able to get the out.
Sometimes good pitcher can get past even the best of batters, as Harry will foul that one back.
There's another point, if on a longer game you see potentially you get to see the pitcher one more time. If they don't, use a relief pitcher, and as you see pitchers more often, of course, that makes you a little more comfortable as a hitter. Hopefully.
That one will be a 0-1 pitch, comes in for an 0-2.
Yeah, Harry's I'm not worried with Harry and having 2 strikes. He's a good hitter.
Harry, a very good 2-strike hitter, has been a little bit slow today as he watches one that's a little bit high. To be honest, I think if I was in that position, I probably would have swung at that, but I'm not Harry Stout, so.
Harry hit a line drive base hit to center his last time up.
Strong hitter, as that one is skied out towards New Jersey Avenue. not quite landing on the street, still staying within the ballpark. Again, these extra strikes that you're giving up, very good, or that you're managing to keep on your at-bat. Of course, 2 strikes, never a position you want to be in, but if you can make the pitcher work more, then always a good thing. Now Harry settling for the 1-2. That one lined. And I think that, can't tell exactly, but I think that might have knocked over an Addison player. It was up against the fence. Didn't hit him. No worries
he's
there.
okay. We don't want anybody to get hurt.
I think he was just startled. That one popped up into right field. Berg settling under it. And we'll grab that one for an easy pop fly out, bringing up Carson Hansen.
Rapier is pitching an excellent ball game. We haven't figured him out at all, only allowing 2 hits. And
2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch.
2 walks and a hit by pitch, and he does have 7 strikeouts in the game. He's been very good.
Really has been the duel of possibly ace pitchers. Is that one on the outside? Of course, just imagine how good the pitcher's duel would be if Raklitis was pitching this game.
I was looking at Hansen's home run in the first game was off a lefty.
Very strong. As that one hit
Drives
opposite
that one
field. But that one had a little bit of a stumble on it, and will be a double on that one, I believe. I think that would be the call. Some might call it a single. Some might call... actually, I think we're giving it single with an error. Are we? I don't know. What are we giving it, Bill? Okay.
Straight double for Carson Hansen. And
Riley
Ryan
Palmquist.
Palmquist is going to pinch run for Hansen. That's a good substitution. Riley's a much faster runner than Carson, and he is the tying run. We got to get him home.
CJ saying that Carson Hansen maybe potentially if we're right, trust us as true. If we're wrong, then we're just blame CJ. But Carson Hansen, a little bit of a hamstring injury is what we're hearing from CJ.
Oh, is that it? Okay, so believe that Hansen has a hamstring injury.
Coming off of one, hearing it through the grapevine. And again, if we're wrong, blame CJ.
You don't blame the boss.
Well, he's the one giving us the information. That's the thing.
Your internship may be cut short.
Oh, that's right. So I should have let you say that.
In my case, I don't care because you don't clean up the mess anyway.
Yeah.
We're on spill watch. I have an open can of Coke in front of me. We had a spill in game 1.
First pitch to Neese is a ball outside. That one fouled off, and I'm always expecting the roof shot, but not happening as much as I anticipated after that first one hit.
Well, Palmquist will be running like the wind if Jacob can get a base hit.
That one checked, and that will score a run on the wild pitch.
What's going to be interesting to see is if they call it a strike or not. It looked like Jacob went around. We don't have any call yet that I know of.
Sheboygan finally on the board thanks to Carson Hansen's double and the wild pitch coming in. 2-1 count.
2 balls and 1 strike. So that pitch was called a ball. Ooh!
A painful
Rapier takes
hit.
it off the chest, but is able to make the recovery and the put out.
Could hear it from up here, but still managing to recover and get the out, but not after giving up a run. So Sheboygan down 1 heading into the final inning of play.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Danny Moyer just gave away $235 in the 50-50 raffle. Like I said in game one, there's another reason to come out to the ballpark, the 50-50 raffle. And we're going to head to the 7th inning. Take it away, Charlie.
And, of course, to start off this inning, a few defensive substitutions for Sheboygan. Of course, with Riley Palmquist coming in, a little bit of shuffling around. Bennett Becker moving into left field, Kyle Flynn going to second, and Riley Palmquist remaining in the game over at short. That one is fouled off for the 8-hitter, Stephen Combs.
This might be a stronger defensive team right now than we had starting the ball game.
Of course, someone like Riley, a very good defender. Becker, a very good defender. Of course, that hitting that you get from Hansen, not something you're going to turn down. So, left field, you can, not exactly the most well, obviously it's necessary, but not always the most active position out there in left.
John Moss in the house with his mom. Nice to see John. John's a staple over at North High School, helps with their athletic department. Does a great job, along with Dan Stengel and the rest of his crew. By the way, great to see Rapier be able to trot off the field after taking that one hopper off the chest and making the play at first.
Took that.
Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, took it very well. That was very, very loud. Heard it from up here as right there swing through that.
After that happened, guys, I had to go to the back room and put some ice on my chest.
That was a painful sounding one, but still. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
That one
There was
will
a
be
kid a
popped
number
up.
of years ago, I'm sure you remember it, CJ, who was playing hockey, and a slap shot hit off of his chest. He didn't make it. And that's a young kid. He was like a 15 or 16-year-old.
Of course, just, sometimes you get some freak moments in certain sports. And
yeah, got to be careful.
Yeah. Combs will get the walk on that one. J.D. Swarbrick.
Swarbrick 0 for 1 with a bases loaded walk. He got the scoring started for Addison with that bases loaded walk.
Of course, just the 2-run second inning for Addison, but potentially that is enough in a pitcher's duel like this. Showing bunt, but will not go. It's being outside for a ball. Swarbrick 9-hitter hasn't gotten the hit, just flew out and walked so far in the day. Combs, the batter before, had struck out twice before walking, which sounds like a fairly normal stat line for someone going up against Ryan Flesch, as there is a second ball in there.
I mentioned earlier in the year that the wind was very calm at that time. It was a few innings ago, and right now the wind definitely has picked up. It's at times blowing from left field to right field, and the temperature is definitely cooled.
That one, a picture-perfect location on a
pickoff
move, but
not quite in time.
The righty pitchers have a lot more difficulty getting those pickoff throws. Have to completely spin around. Can't really trick someone so well. And swinging through that one for the first strike. 2-1 count now on Swarbrick.
Rindfleisch still strong out there on the mound, still throwing hard.
Rindfleisch, one of the better pitchers on this team. Now showing bunt again. That one popped very high up.
It's probably a good thing that it was bunted foul, because I thought the runner, Combs, had a pretty good jump on a steal attempt.
Of course, with the bunts can go a lot of wild places. That one being, maybe a little bit harder than some of our full swings that we've seen go foul back. It's kind of looping backwards, but
Harry is even with the bag at third.
The bag even
in
on
case there is a bunt.
Even on the 2-strike count. And we had one of our fans out here in the crowd hoping that would be called out.
That's Eric Hasenstein. Eric's in the house. Oh, and we had a fan go down on the runway down below us, but he popped right back up. He's
that's
ready
why we
to
tell
go.
you not to run in the stands.
Nothing's going to deter him from getting to the concession stand.
It is a good concession stand. Another reason to come to the ballpark.
Exactly.
Good food, and it's very affordable, too.
Yeah, you're right there. It's not a lot more affordable than down in Milwaukee.
Yeah. I visited the Brewers earlier this year. I think it was like $15 for nachos. Got them like for 3-4. Well, I don't think we have nachos here, but something similar, as that one will be swung through and missed.
11 strikeouts now for Brad.
Rindfleisch very elite on his strikeouts, still going through. Of course, my personal recommendation for our concession stand here, the pretzel bites, always a favorite.
Yeah, pretzel bites are great. Siddell up. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI on that sacrifice fly in the second.
The fly had a single in his last appearance in the 5th, as he will hit that one deep into right field. Zackerson trailing over, and a very nice catch right up against the wall for Zackerson. And that one very close to being a tragedy for Sheboygan, but instead Zackerson gets it over to 2 outs.
Siddell is quite a player. We mentioned about his speed on the bases, and he's hit the ball hard. By the way, that was his 3rd ball out to right field.
Very
he had that one in the first, the sac fly in the second. Those were balls hit to right field.
Now if I could just remember where the single was hit to. I think that one might have been left field.
That might have been, yeah. I don't think it was the slow roller. It might have been a ground ball between third and short.
That sounds reasonable enough. That's the problem with sometimes in our scoring. You can't. I know there is way for scorebook keeping that you can have exactly where the hits go, but
memory.
Yeah, yeah. That one also. Memory usually works, but sometimes on some of these. Yeah. I mean, maybe I could be the person that's, behind the broadcasters telling them everything. That one popped up into shallow left, and that will be Becker coming in for the pop fly. And at the end of the Addison bats for regulation, it's still up 2-1. Sheboygan hoping to pick up a rally and a win.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Even in 7-inning games, we still got to get the classic tradition of the 7th-inning stretch. But, well, right now I think the stretch needs to be with Sheboygan's hitting out here. Getting ready to come back as it'll be Jurgensen, Lorbecki, and Walker due up,
He's had
barring
a pretty
any
nice
pitching.
day today. Charlie's walked and singled. So he's gotten on base. We got Lorbecki waiting on deck.
The only person so far on the team to reach base in both of his at-bats prior to this. Of course, that is another thing about the 7-inning games, is you'll take that first one for a strike.
Rapier with a good pitch there, high and tight, in the strike zone, obviously. On Jimmy, would have a hard time handling that pitch.
That one will be strike 2, and that's something that, again, with those 7-inning games, you're not going to see a pitcher a 4th or 5th time. So, you have limited opportunities against them. As now Rapier coming in for the 0-2 pitch. That one will be checked, but low.
The catcher appealed
really
down to first base, and he made the safe call, and he's like, oh, man, come on.
Really
man.
wanted that, but
no
Jurgensen
dice.
safe. And Jurgensen calling time. Maybe trying to, try to rattle Rapier a bit.
Come on, Jimmy.
That one just on the outside corner. Jimmy not the happiest with that one. And the usual throw around the horn that the catcher does. Overthrown the third baseman.
Well.
But sadly, that does not count for an error for our sponsorships.
Again, Rapier making a great pitch. He had a first strike pitch that was right on the money. And I thought that last pitch was a very good pitch. And Jimmy just couldn't swing at it.
That one first pitch swinging right back into the screen for Lorbecki. Was hit by pitch and had a fly out to left so far in this game. Bottom of the order for Sheboygan. A lot of our top hitters very much concentrated at the top of the order as he takes a ball there.
Going back to earlier in the game, back in that 2nd inning when Addison scored their 2 runs. I believe when Swarbuck was up and he wound up drawing a bases-loaded walk. He had 2 strikes on him. It was 2-2, and he fouled one off, and then it was ball 3, and then Brad threw a couple more strikes that were fouled off, and it was that walk to the number 9 hitter that got the scoring started. And then, of course, the sacrifice fly, but Swarbrick was the key guy. If we could have got him, we could have maybe gotten out of the inning without any runs scored.
Or sometimes they just be a little bit difficult in baseball to have that, as that'll bring it up to a full count.
So you got to give Addison credit. They battled on their at-bats, and their defense has been really good.
Addison has been very good. Both team on defense have been good. That one will be a walk drawn for Lorbecki.
Lorbecki draws a well-needed walk for Sheboygan. Gus Walker up.
And it's like Tim Moyer going to bring
looks like they're going to send in a pinch runner for Lorbecki.
Waiting on confirmation on who that is. And Justin Anzio will be pinch running. Anzio, we haven't seen him too much on the base paths, but you got to imagine if Tim Moyer's putting him in, probably our fastest catcher that we have on the roster.
I don't think he's worried about whether he catches or not. You just want to get your fastest runner out there now. It's your last chance, and Anzio probably is the fastest runner on the bench. Just don't get picked off at first.
Rapier has been very solid with his pickoff moves. Of course, Sheboygan very much would be hoping for a error on a pickoff throw, as that one is thrown in for a strike. Rapier probably, haven't really seen too much of him potentially, being someone who's going to throw that error, but never know. That one thrown in, but still safe. Of course, CJ, I assume has like a lineup of sound effects for the pickoff moves. Got the snoring, got chicken sounds.
We want to get Walker to get a base hit here.
That one hit well into center.
Second time.
Not quite well enough.
He hit that ball back in the second with 2 runners on. That was just scalded, but it was caught by Campbell, and this one not hit as hard, but an out nonetheless.
Still, regardless, pretty much right over to the center fielder Campbell. Now Bennett Becker seeing his first at-bat of the day. And will have a strike called on him. Came in as a defensive sub for Cooper Gussie back in the 5th inning, I believe. So coming into top of the 6th, I think. Somewhere around that area.
I looked a little bit outside, but the umpire liked it. Rapier liked it. The catcher liked it.
Bennett
Becker did not.
Bennett Becker and the fans here at Wildwood, not the biggest fan of it, and swung through, and that will do it for your game. 2-1 for Addison, picking up the win over the Sheboygan A's. Wait for the full pitching stats for both of our pitchers to come through from Mike. But overall, a very strong performance on the pitching front from both teams. But really, it all came down to that 2-run second inning for Addison, managing to get both runs in the game. And Sheboygan started to come back a little bit, and maybe in a 9-inning game, you have more potential to do that comeback. But in just 7 innings, not able to fulfill the comeback. 1 run on 3 hits, as opposed to Addison's 2 runs on 6 hits. A very strong game from Addison, but still a very solid game from Sheboygan. Both games so far today doing very well at preventing the issues with the fielding that we had so far on the year.
All right, line score for Sheboygan. They had 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error. Addison 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. The winning pitcher, Rapier, went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run. That was earned. Walked 3 and struck out 9. The losing pitcher, Brad Reinflesch, also pitched a dandy. He went 7, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs. Both of those were earned. Walked 2 and struck out 11. Want to tell us when our next game is, Charlie?
Next game will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. That'll be against the Lombard Orioles out here at Wildwood Park. And we will hope to see you then. Mike, I'll let you do our sign-off.
All right, thanks for listening and watching, everybody. Until tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we'll see you then. Until then, take care, and we'll see you down the road.